What's up everyone, Brandon Palaniuk here with Sitka, and I'm going to give you kind of a surface level breakdown of my swim bait system. We're gonna start with kind of when I choose hard baits versus soft baits. For me, a lot of that is temperature related, and that then translates into how aggressive the fish are. And we're gonna talk specifically bass, because that's what I'm known for, but this works for walleye, muskie, pike, really any of your predatory fish. I've even caught some larger than average trout on big swim baits. And for me, when you get in kind of the upper 50s and really that 60-degree and above mark is when I start getting into these glide baits. And when we talk glide baits, they're gonna have typically a single hinge point, a two-piece bait, and they're gonna come in a various shapes and sizes. You got some that look like crappie, some that look like big shad, some that look like trout, right? For example, big giant mother chaser there that looks like a piece of artwork. That's why I have not thrown that one yet. I haven't been willing to put hook rash on this one. It's too pretty, but someday I will throw that. And then as it gets colder, a lot of times I'll start to go with soft plastic swim baits, something like a Megabass Meg Draft. That's gonna be a slower, more subtle, streamlined, straight presentation. And that's going to trigger those fish that are maybe a little bit more lethargic, not as active, not wanting to chase, because your glide baits, they're going to turn side to side to side, a lot more aggressive, but that also gives me the ability to trigger those fish a lot better. So I lean toward the glide baits when I can get away with it, but there are times when you need that soft plastic bait. Now, one thing I want to talk about, this specifically, there was a tournament that I won throwing these two baits right here. You see they both have a little bit of teeth marks on them. They are used. I had found this very specific cast where it was a small, maybe 3-foot window, and it was in this current seam. And I would start off with a 6-inch mag draft, and I would fill my limit. I'd catch 2 to 4 pounders. And then all of a sudden, they would kind of slow down and they'd quit biting, and I'd switch to the 8-inch mag draft. After maybe 5-10 minutes of throwing the 6-inch, no bites, no bites. 8-inch, first cast, 6-pounder. Next cast, 6-pounder. What I learned in that tournament was that those bigger fish were not willing to exert the energy to go chase down a 6-inch bait because it was not enough bang for their buck. They were chasing larger than average shad, and those larger than average bass wanted that bigger meal if they were gonna put out the effort. If they were gonna go out in the current, they were gonna grab that meal. They wanted the most bang for their buck. So there are times when upscaling your swim baits will actually get you those bigger bites, and it will trigger those fish that may just let the common bait go by, the common sizes. They say, nope, not worth it. Now, the thing that you need to think about is if you're throwing baits this big, right, upwards of 2, 3, 4, 10, 12, 13 ounces, you need something that can handle that, right? So for me, I like to lean on an Alpha Angler swim bait rod. There's a couple different sizes in that, but then also having the right line and the right reel to be able to handle these big baits. So typically your rods are gonna be 7, 9 to 8 foot, somewhere in that heavy to extra heavy. And then you're gonna typically throw a 20 to 25 pound fluorocarbon, something like a Seaguar Tatsu that's real limp, right? You don't want all that coily mess, because what happens if you have a lot of memory, that coil in your line, when you glide this bait and you try to stop it and stall it, if you have that coil, it acts as a spring, and it's gonna wanna pull this bait, and it's gonna look unnatural, and you're gonna get less bites. The next thing you need is a reel that's gonna handle it. So I lean on a 200 to a 300 size bait caster, big 110 millimeter handles and knobs, so that you can have the power. Because when you have a bait that weighs this much, when that fish bites and you hook it, you're not playing him around, right? I'm gonna grind him in. I've got the rod, the line, the reel for it. I'm gonna winch him in. I'm gonna try to fill his mouth full of water. And when he gets close to the boat, if he's hooked decent at all, I'm gonna boat flip him. I'm gonna put him right in the boat. Because if you let a fish, throw a bait this big around in their mouth, a lot of times they're gonna throw it on treble hooks. So it's kind of a quick breakdown of the system, what you need to get started. There's different variations of swim baits, different price points. Start off with one that you feel like you have confidence in. That 6 to 7 inch range is what I would say to start with, and then work your way up. Get the confidence, see those fish bite those baits, and then just go have fun with it. It's the most addicting way to catch a predatory fish there is out there.